welcome back. We are in the second hour of entertainment and we are still talking books, but this time we have a little bit of an exciting one. It's poetry. Poetry, when I think about poetry, I'm just thinking words that sound the same and, you know, things like that. I think music, I think just a lot of creativity going on. And we are joined by Wilson Waison, who is going to take us on his journey. I mean, he's a poet and journalist, a playwright, an author. I mean, you've done so much with this gift that you have. So do you want to tell us more about your position? I mean, you started writing in 2015. Yes. What was this build-up?
So, literally, I wasn't that much of someone who was interested in literature. But when I was doing my fifth form, Form 5 at Sengezawanai, I developed the zeal to read, and it translated from being a reader to a writer. So, 2015, my first poem was entitled Behind Closed Doors, which I recited at the British Council. And since then, I've been writing.
You've been writing since then?
Since then, I've been
writing. So when you say you recited it, you're the one who was speaking it?
Yes. It was page poetry. I wrote the piece in 30 minutes, and I had to deliver it in 2 minutes. So that was my first... Was that pressure? Yeah, it was my first experience, and it was exciting.
And that just shows you that you were probably born to do that, because, I mean, if you can write a piece in 3 minutes, and then, you know, deliver it in 2 minutes, I think that's absolutely fantastic. So, you know, when I think about poetry, I'm thinking about the cat has a mat. The tree is, you know, are the words supposed to be all, What is poetry
it depends. About? It depends with the style and form which you have adopted. For me personally, I'm into experimental poetry. And Gangai Zoramazwi was one of my second projects. It's a Shona piece, but it was derived from the word paradox of words.
Gangaizo.
So it directly translates from paradox of words to Gangaizo Ramazwi, which is my third book, which is probably coming this second quarter of the year.
This is great. Hey, this Gangaizo, I mean, I'm reading in Shona, so you're very good with Shona. We were having a chat before, like, I'm not really good with my Shona, but you've written a whole book on Shona. I mean, how does that, when you think creatively, Shona and English, is there a difference?
Yeah, it is. There is a huge difference. When I'm writing in English, most of the things are borrowed, but when I'm writing in Shona, I have that sense of belonging, you know. So it came as a revelation when I was in Botswana and people were delivering in their native languages. And then I asked myself, why can't I
do the same?
Exactly. So it was after that experience, then I decided to write some pieces in Shona. So it took me 4 years to compile 30 poems in Shona.
Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't an
overnight thing,
success.
It was a journey.
It was a journey.
So give us a brief summary of your upcoming book. You said it's called?
It's called Random Paradox of Words.
Random, but is it in English or in Shona?
Yeah, it's in English.
It's in English, okay.
It's also experimental poetry. It has two stanzas which has 5 lines. So it's a social commentary which focuses more on the social being of Zimbabweans, and also it dwells much in the economics of words.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So we see that you are the head of writers in Chitungwiza. The Chitungwiza standing for an organization called Poets of the World.
There's an international organization which is called Poets of the World, and I'm the consul for Chitungwiza poets. So
how did you get there?
As I have mentioned, I started early as 2015. So during my building up, I met guys like Mbizo Chirasha, I met guys like Memory Chirere, Chirikure, and the likes. Those were already established poets whom then pushed me to be what I am today.
So it's about really the hours that you have put in to your art and to your skill that has allowed you to be in this position. And some stuff that I know you did something in Botswana?
Yeah, I was in Botswana for Botswana International Poetry Festival, and I was representing Zimbabwe. I was also in Zambia for the first poetry show that was done under Sotampe. It's a film documentary, but then they engaged poetry in 2017. So I was the youngest published author then.
Okay, that's very good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I want you to say a poem about this studio, just in 2 lines or 3
Wow.
lines.
Okay, so flashy and blinding, I sit behind the mazy and amazing. Wow.
So, okay, do you know what? I did put you on the spot, but well done for trying. And this is how we clap for poets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how we clap for the poets. But just before you go, Waison, we have young viewers, people who are aspiring to be poets and authors. I mean, what can you tell the audience? What can you tell the viewer about how to really get to the place that you're at? Just quickly in 2 seconds.
I think you have to be original.
Be
you have
original.
to share your experiences as you have experienced them, because I'm not a fiction writer. I write based on my experiences, so
Right.
it comes naturally.
Okay, that's very good. Well, that's you have it. We have Wilson Waison. It comes naturally. Be original in your skill and put hours into it.